Hi, my name is Tristan Kendrick, and today I'll be telling a quick story about three professors at Siena Heights University: Doug, Laura, and Callie. Each of these professors come from different parts of the world and are very unique in their own way, and they each teach different subjects. First, we're going to start with Doug. His full name is Doug Goodnough. He is the Director of Marketing Communications at Siena Heights University. Now, Doug's been with Siena for about 16 years, so I was about 6 years old when he started. Doug is originally from Toledo, Ohio. He left the Ohio area to attend Hillsdale College after high school. Doug currently still lives in the Hillsdale area. Now, Doug's original plan as a 20-year-old was to be a MLB pro baseball player. He played baseball at Hillsdale College and was very good. However, he had an MLB tryout, but he wasn't able to make the cut. Now, after Doug didn't make it in baseball, he was heartbroken, obviously, as most athletes would be. But Doug had a plan B. His plan B was journalism. I had a chance to speak with Doug in an interview where I got to see a whole different side of Doug. Here's that interview.
I'm originally from Toledo, Ohio. I grew up there, attended college not too far away from Adrian, down the road at Hillsdale College, and I'm now living in the Hillsdale area. Kind of mini Detroit, if I'm being honest. You know, it's kind of an inner city with a lot of different ethnic groups in there. With the Maumee River nearby, there's a lot of boating that goes on. I grew up with my grandfather fishing off of Lake Erie. So there's a lot of, like I said, nautical type things. It's always been a big port city. And industrial wise, it used to be, you know, quite a bit of a manufacturing base with Jeep and GM down there. And that's where I kind of grew up, in that area in North Toledo around a lot of the manufacturing plants. I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. That was my goal, my dream. And I held on to that up until my college days. Had a little bit of a workout and a couple tryouts with some teams, but didn't quite make the cut. Absolutely the number one step I took was getting an internship. When I was in college, I had to pay some bills. I mean, I needed a job. Fortunately, my head coach knew the sports editor at the daily newspaper in town and said, Doug, if you're interested, he needs some help at night, taking some scores, writing up some game stories. I was always interested in writing. Obviously, I was looking to go into communications. So that's how I got my start. I was a fledgling sports reporter at the newspaper, really liked it, and I ended up growing into that position where I worked there for 3 years, worked there as a full-time intern for a while, and actually got a chance to do not only sports, but some news as well. Well, a job opening did. You know, I was at a weekly newspaper as the editor for 10 years, enjoyed what I did, but I felt like, I wanted to do more. I wanted to be part of something a little bit larger. And I saw this opportunity for a communications director position at Siena Heights, which was just down the road from where I was working. The vice president at the time, I knew from my days at Hillsdale College. So when I applied, he reached out to me and brought me in for an interview, and things worked out on both sides, and here I am. I think just working with students, working for students. I mean, my job as marketing communications director takes me in a lot of different positions. Obviously, I can still do a little bit of the writing that I did back from when I was in my journalism days. I always enjoy that. But being able to teach a little bit, to actually work with students, we have interns and work studies in our office all the time. Being able to kind of stay in college without having to actually go to class, I think is kind of a fun piece of the pie. And again, being able to help students along their path and get to the career that they want to get to. My primary mentor throughout my career has been my original boss, you would say, at the Hillsdale Daily News. Her name is Marcia Loader. Journalism is really important. Unfortunately, I think journalism has kind of lost its way overall, especially in the larger arenas. I think the whole idea of objectivity is being lost. There used to be two different sides of journalism. You have the news side and you have the opinion side. Unfortunately, I think those have now converged, and it's really causing a lot of confusion. I know myself, as someone who is trained to be a journalist and try to be objective, regardless of where I stand on my personal feelings, it's being lost. And unfortunately, at the highest levels of journalism, I think people have lost their way. And my job, at least in my side, here at Siena Heights, is to teach journalism, teach the objectivity the way it is meant to be taught. Because journalism is such an important part of our country, because it is in a lot of ways a check and balance against government, against a lot of the things that are happening in society. And if we don't get the right information, it can be really devastating on a variety of levels for our country.